this show wasn't as terrible as I thought it could have been. This show was not bad at all. We still have some issues for Monday Night Raw, as we usually do, but the show was not bad whatsoever. We will address those issues later on into the podcast, of course, but Becky Lynch, Ali, and Asuka all returned tonight. Tommaso Ciampa, or should I just call him Ciampa, got his name cut in half. Cody Rhodes is in another main event, and the Usos lose once again. Man, RKBro is not going to win those titles at Backlash, I'm telling you guys right now. But regardless, guys, we're going to be talking about it all tonight on the Monday Night Raw post-show on Outside the Brand. This is the only place you need to be on your Monday night. This is Outside the Brand. I'll talk to you guys in just a little bit. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me right here on Outside the Brand. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for April 25th, 2022. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me on your Monday nights, wherever you may be. Let's talk Raw, guys. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. It was not a bad show tonight. A ton happened, which is good. It gives us a lot of talking points to, talk about on the show. And that's always looked at as a good thing. Becky Lynch, or should I say Gollum, is back. Her promo was absolutely god-awful tonight, but we were all saved by the returning Asuka, which is a great change for this women's division. It's a great change of pace. And Asuka being back in WWE is a great thing to see. I love Asuka. I think Asuka's fantastic. And honestly, she saved us from another terrible Becky Lynch promo. She's absolutely god-awful. Ali also is back in WWE. You guys remember Ali, right? At the beginning of the year, he requested for his release, which got denied by the WWE. Even with the returns of Ali, Asuka, and Becky Lynch, I think the show could still be as boring as it usually is. We are 4 weeks out from WrestleMania, and we are still under a brand split. Why? Ali was drafted to Friday Night SmackDown, and now he's on Monday Night Raw. Why? Did he get traded? Was there a trade that happened that we did not know about or that we were not notified about? I'd like to kind of know the reason why that he is on Monday Night Raw now instead of Friday Night SmackDown, where he was drafted to. Also, let's not forget there's no World Championship on Monday Night Raw. That is being held by a SmackDown competitor in Roman Reigns, who is the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. That to me is a problem, guys. The main story on Monday Night Raw is the unification match for the Tag Team Championships between the Usos and RK-Bro. That's a major problem. Now, a big thing that happened tonight on Monday Night Raw was a 20-year career celebration of Randy Orton. We all know Randy Orton. He's one of the greatest of all time. And with that being said, they did a little bit of a celebration of sorts, which led to tonight's main event, which was an 8-man tag. Nothing too special, though. He was just going out there, and everybody, rinse and repeat, interrupts, music hits. But it was just a little bit of a celebration for the 20 years of Randy Orton, which led to tonight's main event, which was that 8-man tag. A fun 8-man tag, I will say, but it's kind of just rinse and repeat when it comes to segments like that. Becky Lynch, like I said, was goddamn awful. She is Gollum in real life. You guys know Gollum from Lord of the Rings. My precious, I'll come back for you, my precious. She legitimately said that tonight on Raw, and she was screeching like Gollum. I mean, come on. What is she doing? Is there something in the air in Knoxville, Tennessee to make her speak like that? Or what the hell was going on? I mean, I understand she's been terrible ever since this heel turn, but she does not need to turn into fucking Gollum to get her point across. She literally was screeching like Gollum, and it was just terrible. It was just terrible. Thank God Asuka interrupted her. And it's about damn time. She's been ready to come back for months, and now she finally returns. Asuka being back is a great thing, but they have no plans for her whatsoever. And you can tell by just slotting her right back in to Becky Lynch. She was ready to come back months ago, and it's just not, it's not registering to me. It really, to be completely honest, I did hear a little bit of a pop, but it wasn't all that loud. It was not all that loud for Asuka's return, and that is a major problem. Again, that is a major problem. If Asuka's return was not all that special to the fans, and we didn't really get that big of a pop for Asuka, there's a problem with that, guys, and that's not good. That is not good whatsoever. Ali also returned tonight, and like I said, you guys remember Ali? He got denied a release request by WWE, and he is now going for the United States Championship. He beat The Miz tonight, but then after the match, he got attacked. He got attacked by Ciampa. It's not Tommaso Ciampa anymore. It's just known as Ciampa. You know, it could have been a lot worse. We could have had a complete name change for Tommaso, like Thomas Calzone or something of that. Tommy Salami, something like that. Shout out to you, man, from GTS Wrestling. But yeah, like seriously, it could have been a lot worse. He's just known as Ciampa now, and I guess we're gonna have to get used to it, just like we usually do. But that's all that really happened tonight. We will go over everything that happened tonight on Outside the Brand, and I would appreciate you guys for joining me on the Monday Night Raw post show for OTB. Follow us on social media. All the TikTok links are down in the description below. You guys can follow me at BillyMatt_. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications so that you never miss when we go live. Hit that thumbs up. 10 likes minimum on this episode of Outside the Brand. If we can hit that, that would be absolutely great. Go check out anything that you may have missed from last week on the channel. All of that is on the homepage for you guys to enjoy. Go get the merchandise, guys. Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. You guys can go get your t-shirts and much more on Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand. And finally, before we get into tonight's festivities and go over the Monday Night Raw post-show review on Outside the Brand, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us, as well as helping us get to 400 subscribers. You guys are absolute beasts. You guys are fantastic. You know, starting Outside the Brand in July, we did not expect anything. We really didn't. We kind of just came on here, spoke our minds, and just said, hey, you know, let's do this. Let's try it. And now we're at 400 subscribers because of all you guys. All of you guys. It's absolutely awesome. We're on the road to 500 subscribers now. I can't even believe I'm actually saying that. And we're almost halfway to 1,000. We are almost halfway to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And I honestly thought that we were never even going to eclipse that. I didn't even think we were going to get this far when it comes to episode counts and all that stuff. So this was just absolutely awesome. 400 subscribers strong. We're going to be 500, and we're going to get to 1,000. Like, it might happen next year. It might happen a year after. It might happen a year 2024. But regardless, we are going to reach that 1,000 subscriber milestone, and that is going to be absolutely awesome when we do. We're not stopping OTV, or at least I'm not. I'm going to be here each and every single time, no matter what. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up button as well, as we are on the road to 500 subscribers. So click that subscribe button, and we'll get there. We will get there. I appreciate all you guys in the OTB family. You guys are absolutely awesome. I love you guys. Let's get right into Monday Night Raw now, shall we? Monday Night Raw started off with RKBro. Well, it's really Riddle. Riddle was out here, and he showed us a video package of the 20-year career of Randy Orton. The video packages that WWE does are always top-notch. They are always great. And we're just celebrating the 20 years of Randy Orton. This is an absolutely awesome thing to see. Riddle's in the ring, which is surrounded by most of the roster. Riddle welcomes us to the show and says that tonight is a special 20th anniversary of Randy Orton's debut. We see a fantastic video package of Orton's illustrious career, set to the song Voices by Motionless in White. Riddle then welcomes the Apex Predator to the show, the Viper, the Legend Killer, the future Hall of Famer, Randy Orton, to the ring in a big pop in Knoxville, Tennessee. Orton says that he appreciates the love and support. In fact, he was actually born in Knoxville County, in Knoxville, Tennessee. He says that you can look it up on Wikipedia because it is 100% a fact that he was born right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but he hopes that the fans aren't sick of him just yet because he isn't going anywhere anytime soon. He's had a lot of good relationships and badass matches with guys like John Cena, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Mick Foley. And if it was not for Mick Foley, he would not be standing here right now. But there's one thing that's different these days. He's having more fun than ever before, and it's all because of Riddle. RKBro then hug it out, and the fans chant for them. Orton then says that him and the fans have had a tumultuous relationship, but if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't be here either. So he thanks the fans as well. Riddle then says that he has a surprise in store. Someone who says that Randy was a mentor towards him, looks up to him as a locker room leader, and even calls him a friend. Riddle then introduces the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Orton smiles from ear to ear. And Cody hugs him while in the ring, and Riddle gets a little jealous, but they all laugh about it. Seth Rollins then gets on the microphone and says that this is all very cute. He tells Randy not to trust Cody Rhodes and says that he is just trying to steal the spotlight from him. Again, Rollins says that not everything is about you, Cody. Believe it or not. Tonight specifically is about Randy Orton. It's been a hell of a 20 years. But let's be honest, Orton's best years are behind him. He's not the future, neither is Cody. And the next generation won't be inspired by a bro, a nightmare, or a viper. There's going to be an inspiration that is revolutionary, and that is him. Ezekial then speaks up and gets inside the ring. He says that he wants to congratulate Randy and introduces himself. He says, "Hi, I'm Ezekiel, Elias's younger brother." He says that he can never forget him and his brother Elias watching Orton on TV. Kevin Owens then comes through the crowd and screams at Ezekiel, and he's screaming that he is a liar. He speaks like Elias and looks like Elias because he is Elias. He says that Ezekiel is a disgusting piece of trash, and he's going to figure out how he faked the lie detector test. He says that he passed it, but he's going to figure out how. Orton is losing it, and here comes the Usos. Jay says that they were 15 when Randy Orton was on their TV, and one of their favorite moments of Orton's career when they beat him and Riddle at WrestleMania Backlash. During that doing that will solidify their legacy as the greatest tag team of all time because they are the ones. Adam Pearson comes out and says the Usos will be in action tonight, teaming with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens to face RKBro, Ezekiel, and Cody Rhodes. All 8 men begin to argue, and Orton punches Ezekiel, and Owens punches Ezekiel. Then Orton RKO's Kevin Owens, and the heels backtrack. Like I said, this is a pretty good opening segment for Monday Night Raw tonight. Like, it's just to set up the main event of the show tonight. Nothing more, nothing less. And honestly, at the end of the day, it was just it gave Orton a chance to speak authentically in front of the fans for celebrating 20 years of his career, and that's all that we can really ask for. If something's authentic and if something's real, then we applaud it. So that was absolutely great to see, and it did set up a great main event for tonight's show in that 8-man tag team match. So I was fine with that. I was fine with the opening segment for tonight's show for sure. We then had the match between Bianca Belair and Sonya Deville for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, I'm not going to go over everything on this because this shit was absolutely disgusting. Point is, Bianca Belair retained her championship, but Sonya Deville lost 3 times in this one match. One, by getting counted out. So Sonya gets on the mic and says, listen, we're not going to end it in that way. This is a no count out match. Then she gets herself disqualified by hitting Bianca with a steel chair. Then she gets on the mic again and says, listen, we're not going to end it in that way either. This is a no count out, no disqualification match. Then Belair sends Carmella over the top rope, and Carmella and Zelina Vega were here to help Sonya Deville try to win the championship. Then Belair lifts Deville for a glam slam, but Sonya then rolls through and Bianca is sent into the turnbuckles. Deville then grabs a steel chair and hits Bianca with a DDT onto it for a 2 count. Vega then wedges a chair into the turnbuckles, and Deville tries to run Belair into it, but the tables have turned. Belair then hits Vega and Carmella and hits Deville with the KOD for the win, thus having Bianca Belair retain her Raw Women's Championship in her hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee. After the match, Belair smiles, dances, and swings her hair around as if she didn't just get face planted onto the steel chair. So there's that. She's just kind of no-selling that, but that's whatever. Sonya then retreats back up the ramp, looking very angry. We come back from commercial break, and Carmella and Zelina Vega are arguing backstage. And Deville rushes up to them and says, listen, guys, shut up. You guys did not help me tonight. You guys failed, so you guys are not going to get your tag team championship opportunity like I promised. Zelina then yells back at her and says, listen, you're breaking your word. How could you even do that? Deville then slaps her across the face. Carmella then looks to slap Sonya, but Deville reminds her that she is a WWE official. And then she slaps Carmella as well. So it's kind of just, this thing is so tiring. When it comes to matches like this, the WWE officials always have their way, or at least they're trying to get their way so that they change the rules in a match over and over and over again to try to get sympathy for the babyface and everything like that, but it's just so tiring. It's so overdone. It's so overblown. It's 99% of the time. It's so tiring. It's not captivating. You're not going to get any interest into this. And the way that they're starting off Bianca Belair's championship reign already is it's not a complete bust because we love Bianca Belair that much, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all to start off her feud, or at least to start off her championship reign, and it's never good. Once you're starting off a championship reign in this bad of a fashion, what else is there? What else is going to be there for her? And with that being said, there's nothing else. There's nobody else on this roster besides maybe a returning Asuka or even a Becky Lynch for that matter that are even credible enough to go up against a woman like Bianca Belair. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. So either Sonya Deville is back in the ring full time, or we just have to find somebody else for WrestleMania Backlash. Because at the end of the day, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and Becky Lynch are the only people that are credible enough to go up against a girl like Bianca Belair. Name me one other person that is credible enough to go up against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania Backlash. You can't. And if you can, I'll be very shocked. It's very tiring the way that kind of whole thing went about, and it's just very paint by numbers, formulaic, wasn't all that good. Bianca's great, and I don't want anybody to misconstrue that. And I think Sonya is also pretty good. I think she's fantastic, right? It's just the way that they're doing this right now is absolutely disgustingly very familiar, because Sonya did that also to Naomi when they were on SmackDown. So there's nothing really going on with that. It's completely tiring, it's boring, and it's the same old shit. Edge and Damian Priest are in their throne room. Edge says that upon the mountain of omnipotence, they look down upon everyone, like AJ Styles and Finn Balor. They're better than everyone, but they haven't known it because they were too concerned with stupid fans that voted for Glenn Jacobs, otherwise known as Kane, the mayor of Knox County. Edge then says that the fans keep asking why he uses fancy words, wears suits, and uses a dark light that is the Undertaker's. That's blasphemy. It's because he's better than everyone. The fans might not like the taste of that, but it's not a surprise considering all they know is greasy cheeseburgers and hot dogs. Edge says AJ Styles isn't here because he's at home rehabbing a separated shoulder, the same shoulder he injured in the Royal Rumble 2 years ago when he made his miraculous return. He says that he tells AJ to stay home, hold his kids tight with his one arm. And Damian's Judgment Day has come for Finn Balor. Veer Mahan then takes on Sam Smothers, and I have to tell you guys this right now. I thought Sam Smothers was goddamn Tim the Tap Man. I thought Tim the Tap Man made his WWE Monday Night Raw debut. I thought Tim the Tap Man went from a WWE 2K22 commercial to Monday Night Raw appearance just to get squashed by Veer Mahan. I could have sworn he was on Monday Night Raw tonight as the jobber for Veer Mahan tonight. It was absolutely insane. I thought it was Tim the Tap Man, but this guy's name was Sam Smothers. And like I said, this was a complete squash. The cervical clutch for the tap out victory. Veer Mahan picks up the win. Veer is no longer that interesting to me anymore. He's not. He's being portrayed like a monster, which is great, but he is no longer interesting to me whatsoever. He really just isn't. After the match, Veer then sends Smothers shoulder first into the ring post. Veer then applies the clutch once again on the outside, and Smothers passes out. Officials then come down to make Veer leave, but he comes back and throws Smothers into the announce desk. Veer then box jumps onto the announce table, and then applies a cervical clutch one more time and won't release it until he chooses to. Bobby Lashley is then being interviewed backstage as he is trying to prepare for his arm wrestling match against Omos, and the arm wrestling he wants to know. Okay, so he says that he's confident that he can beat Omos in the arm wrestling contest, but he has to be prepared because he doesn't trust Omos, and he especially does not trust an MVP. We come back from commercial break, and Omos and MVP are come to the ring for the arm wrestling contest. MVP says that Bobby Lashley's massive ego made him go to WrestleMania without him. His ego is so big that he thinks that he can beat Omos in an arm wrestling contest. Of course, Lashley is is far too strong and fast for the average man, but Omos is not an average man. He's a colossus. Omos is going to destroy Bobby Lashley. Lashley has heard enough, and he comes down to the ring. They take their places on the podium and grasp their hands, and they start, and Omos gets the better of Bobby Lashley as MVP criticizes and mocks him. Lashley then gets fired up and starts turning the tide. Then Lashley then slowly beats him, and MVP tries to hit him with the cane, but Lashley then spots it and stops it from happening, only for Omos to attack him. Omos then slams Lashley face into the arm wrestling table and throws it aside. Omos then clubs Lashley down with a clothesline. MVP then orders Lashley to crush him, so Omos lifts the table and drives it into Lashley's chest a few times. So that arm wrestling match, or that arm wrestling contest, whatever the fuck you want to call it, was a complete fucking waste of time. Omos and Bobby Lashley just should stop. They need to stop. This feud is not going anywhere, and nobody's getting over for it. Apparently, Bobby Lashley's the number one babyface on Monday Night Raw. Where? Where the fuck is that? How the fuck did WWE come up with that fucking logic, or that fucking conclusion, that that Bobby Lashley is the number one babyface on Monday Night Raw? How? Where are you guys getting that from? It's not from the crowd reaction. It's not from the crowd reaction whatsoever. The crowd reaction for this was absolute dead. There was no crowd reaction. And what do you guys want? What do you guys want for us to do? An arm wrestling contest is not what we want on Monday nights. An arm wrestling contest is not what we want or desire for our Monday Night Raw. I don't know what the fuck you want us to do. I don't know what the fuck you want us to even say. Who books this shit? And now we're getting a WrestleMania Backlash rematch between these guys. Omos and Bobby Lashley. Who the fuck wins? Bobby Lashley already beat Omos at WrestleMania. Why do we need this again? Why? So that Omos can get his win back? And then what? We're going to get a third match between the guys? This shit sucks. So we see a replay of the 24/7 title garbage. And then we get a mixed tag match between Reggie and Dana Brooke versus Akira and Tamina, with special guest referee and R-Truth. R-Truth is the fucking greatest, but this match absolutely completely sucked. Akira, Tozawa, and Tamina won with a sky-high senton for the win from Tozawa onto Reggie, and that was it. After the match, Tamina then throws Dana back inside the ring, tries to pin her, and Truth throws her into Tozawa. Tozawa got thrown into Tamina. Truth then tries to pin Brook for himself to try to get his baby back, but she kicks out and runs away. She's screaming, "I thought I trusted you. I thought I trusted you." And she runs away. Get the 24/7 title garbage off my fucking television. This shit is garbage. This shit sucks, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. I only care for R-Truth, even though he blocked me on Twitter. I understand why he did it, and I apologize for it. But you know what? At the end of the day, the 24/7 title shit is garbage, and it should just be off our television screens. Nobody fucking cares about the 24/7 title, and if you do, you might be the legitimately only person on fucking planet Earth that cares about the 24/7 title. So we come back from commercial break, and here comes Becky Lynch. She's looking very desperate. She is looking. She looks like she legitimately just came from the streets of like the poorest town in all of the fucking land. She has ripped clothes. She is obviously not taking any kind of fashion advice from her significant other and Seth Rollins, whose suits are like on point each and every single week. She's absolutely awful. Point blank. She says that it's been 3 years since she's walked out onto Monday Night Raw without her Raw Women's Championship, which is a fucking lie. She didn't want to show her face on Raw because she doesn't know who Becky Lynch is anymore without her championship. She does not recognize herself. She's hit rock bottom, but that's all she has to say. I was like, thank God, let's go. If that's all you have to say, get the fuck out of here. She then comes back and says, listen. She stops herself and starts laughing, like Gollum. She says that if she hit rock bottom, there's only one thing to do, and that's to go back up. This isn't the end. This is only the beginning of her legendary comeback. Nobody does a comeback better than her. She can't stay down wallowing with the slabs of the earth like people in Knoxville County. She's like an arrow that's been pulled back, and she can shoot into heights unknown. And us fans get to watch her go back to get her precious. My precious! My precious! I'll get you, my precious! She's legitimately Gollum. She is legitimately fucking Gollum, and it's disgusting. She's absolutely disgusting. She'll be a champion again, and she'll hold that championship forever, and nobody will beat her for it. Not Bianca, not Tamina, not Natalia, nobody. And then Asuka's music hits. Becky is interrupted by someone we have not seen in a very long time, and that is Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow. Fans chant her name as she's dancing. Asuka then speaks in Japanese, then says, I will stop you because nobody is ready for Asuka. She dances and throws the microphone away and flicks Lynch in the nose. Becky then swings at her, but Asuka ducks it. She swings back, and Lynch avoids the back fist and runs out of the ring. Like I said, I don't really think there's any kind of real direction towards Asuka. Having Asuka just return to go up against Becky Lynch is just an easy choice, mainly because of what happened that year when Becky had to relinquish the championship, and when Asuka won Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank briefcase actually held the Raw Women's Championship. So that's kind of where they're going from this. It's just an easy first feud for Asuka's comeback. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just very easy. It's very formulaic. It's just very paint by numbers. There's really no creative direction whatsoever for Asuka, and I love Asuka. I think Asuka's great. I don't think Asuka's been really portrayed all that well since coming to the main roster. I think Asuka was way better in NXT, and that was NXT Black and Gold, not this fucking 2.0 garbage shit with the paintballs and all that stuff. But Becky and Asuka, it's a very formulaic feud. It's Asuka's first feud back, so you want to do something kind of big. And Becky Lynch, I guess, if you want to say that it's a big deal, it's a big deal then. But it's very paint by numbers. It's formulaic, and it's just easy. It's just an easy feud for Asuka, so that she can get her feet wet again on Monday Night Raw. What's going on, Japer? The Street Profits are backstage, and Dawkins says that he respects Randy Orton. Ford then talks about his wife, Bianca Belair, defending the Raw Women's Championship in her hometown. They discuss the main event and debate who will win that tag match, but it doesn't matter because whoever wins at WrestleMania Backlash, they are next and they want the smoke. Finn Balor took on Damian Priest tonight, and while this match was an okay, decent match, here's the thing, guys. First of all, the entrance that they had was fucking fantastic. Edge was sitting on his throne, as normal, and Damian Priest was just standing right next to Edge, who's sitting on his throne. And the way the cameras were doing their movements, I thought the throne was actually like going down the ramp on like a legit conveyor belt, and it's just like going down the ramp. But it wasn't. They were just standing there, and the cameras doing their own camera work to make it look like it was moving. But this was fantastic. That entrance was awesome. You started off with the other side by Ultra Bridge, and then it transitioned into Damian Priest's music. Thank God Damian Priest still has his music. Because Damian Priest now, with all that being said, Damian Priest still has his identity. Damian Priest still has the identity of Damian Priest with his music and just his presentation. His presentation alone, just joining Edge, has been 1,000 times better than when he was as a babyface. This was absolutely a fantastic thing to do, and him going up against Finn Balor was also a great way because now we can get this Finn Balor and AJ Styles tag team going to go up against the other side in Damian Priest and Edge to ultimately get to where we need to be with Edge's faction. Yeah, we have Edge versus AJ Styles once again at WrestleMania Backlash. I believe. Here's the thing. I don't think AJ Styles should win this match at WrestleMania Backlash, but what else are they really going to do to set up something? Or if Edge is going to win at WrestleMania Backlash, to have AJ just said, you know what, screw this, I need help, because obviously these guys are way too powerful for just me alone. Let me get the help of former Bullet Club member as well, and Finn Balor. And then we have the blow-off tag match at the next pay-per-view. I think that would be fine, which I believe would be Hell in a Cell. But regardless, I think that's how they're probably going to do it. I hope Edge wins at WrestleMania Backlash so that we can finally get this whole AJ and Finn thing going, and then we can figure it out there. But regardless, I think this was good. We had a good match between Finn and Damian Priest. We're back live from commercial, and Priest sends Finn Balor into the corner, but eats a big boot. Balor then hits a running forearm and another. Balor then tips Priest over and hits a double stomp, then stares at Edge. Priest then lifts him up, but Balor then slides off the shoulders and hits an elbow drop. Priest then gets a kick to the ribs and is caught with a sling blade. Then Balor hits a roll-up for a 2 count and lands an enziguri. Balor then goes up to the top. Priest grabs him by the throat and hits a chokeslam. Then Priest does a reverse STO for the victory. Edge is waiting for Priest on the ramp by his throne. Priest bends the knee, and Edge smiles before telling him to rise. Judgment Day pose together. If that is the name of their new faction, they're just known as Judgment Day. It's not a bad tag team. It's not a bad stable name. It's not a bad faction name whatsoever. I honestly kind of like it, but I'm either always going to call them the other side, I'm either going to call him the other side or Judgment Day. So whatever. So there you guys go. Hold on a second. I got to get this right. They're known as Judgment Day, which is perfectly fine. But if I call them the other side just by me talking, just know I'm talking about that exact same group. I'm either gonna be referring to them as the other side or Judgment Day. So there you guys go. Just so that you guys are aware. If I call them the other side just by me talking, I'm talking about Edge, Priest, and that stable. Okay? So there is that. We come back from commercial break and it's time for Miz TV. Miz begins insulting Randy Orton and says that his guest tonight is far more than a legend and he will be a legend one day. A young man that reminds him a lot of himself, the new United States champion in Austin Theory. Theory and The Miz take a selfie together. Miz says that it's like looking in a mirror. He says that he has to earn the in The Miz. But Theory will get there eventually. Theory says that Mr. McMahon has been very clear about his name and it's just Theory. Miz then says nobody has brought the prestige to the United States Championship in, maybe 12 years. Theory then says Miz was the United States Champion 12 years ago and he was amazing. Theory then says that he's going to live up to those standards and prove that he is the best investment that Vince McMahon has ever made. Theory then says that he is going to take the title to heights that's never been seen before. And sure, he's the youngest United States champion in history, but he's going to be remembered as the champion. Miz then says that when you become a champion, everybody turns on you. Nobody likes to see an attractive human being quite like yourself to be successful. So he needs to watch his back. Miz says that past champions have defended the United States Championship too regularly, hanging out undeserved championship opportunities. Like Theory should know better. That's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. The United States Championship is a fucking prop. Now with it being in the hands of Austin Theory, it's not totally a prop anymore because at least they're pushing a young star like Austin Theory, who is the youngest United States champion in the belt's history. But with that being said, the United States Championship before all of this shit was a prop. It didn't mean anything. Nobody cared about the United States Championship. The United States Championship never meant a single thing on Monday Night Raw. The secondary championships, the United States title and the Intercontinental Championships, are just props. They never meant a single thing, and especially the Intercontinental title. The Intercontinental title is fucking worthless now. It's ridiculous. Mustafa Ali then shows up, and he comes down to the ring. Fans chant welcome back very softly. The fans were not happy for Mustafa Ali's return. It's not they weren't happy. Is that there was just completely no reaction. But Miz stops Ali from speaking and says, "You still work here?" Theory then says, "Aren't you the guy that took his ball and went home?" Miz then asks if he's maybe Mustafa or Mufasa, Mustafa Ali's younger brother. So gotta throw a little bit of that Ezekial shit in there. Ali then says that that's not funny, and if he wanted to laugh, he just watched Miz wrestle. Ali then says that he's back on Monday Night Raw, and he's felt like he had to come out here in the hopes that he could be Austin Theory's first challenger, my bad. Theory says, "Let me think about that." No. Ali then asks if he had any balls. Ali then says Theory is running from challenges just like The Miz used to. Theory then builds up Miz, and Miz says that he sees what Ali is trying to do, but he can't just book matches around here. Theory then says, "Well, That's okay, because here's the thing. I just called Vince McMahon, and he agreed that you should have a match against Ali right now. Miz gets very frustrated, and he says, "Thank you. Thank you. You can go now. You can go now." And then Ali slaps the Miz in the face and walks off. But he had to walk right back inside the ring because the Miz versus Mustafa Ali was next. Not a bad match, but not a good match either. I love Ali. I think Ali's absolutely great, but you're going up against The Miz, who's one of the safest WWE superstars of all time. And maybe you can look at that as a good thing, but I just look at him as boring. I really do. I love The Miz. I think The Miz is one of the greatest talkers of all time when it comes to just his cadence for promos and everything like that, especially in the modern era. But The Miz is just fucking boring now. And there's nothing you guys can really even say for me to really dispute that. Miz is boring. Miz is boring right now, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ali then hits a running drop kick. Then chomps Miz in the corner again. Ali then avoids Miz running at him and hits a rolling neck breaker for a 2 count. Ali then looks for an O'Connor roll, but Miz shrugs him off and hits a DDT for a near fall. Ali then gets Miz onto the top rope and climbs up with him, but Miz shoves him off. Ali lands awkwardly, and Miz then goes right for his knee. Miz then looks for a figure 4, but Ali rolls him up for the victory. So Mustafa Ali wins his comeback on Monday Night Raw. Let's see how much longer he'll have a win streak, or let's see if he even has a win streak during his chase for the United States Championship. I highly doubt it. After the match, Ali is on the stage celebrating as he's suddenly attacked by Tommaso Ciampa, who is now simply just being called Ciampa. It could have been a lot worse. We could have had Tommy Salami, Tony Calzone, something of that nature. At least they just took half his name, so he's just known as Ciampa. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. Rhea Ripley is now being interviewed backstage after a commercial break. She says that she attacked Liv because last week she just finally came to her senses. When she came to Monday Night Raw, she was the Raw Women's Champion, or she became the Raw Women's Champion on her own. Since then, she's been put into tag teams, worthless tag teams that are just not on her level, and she's just fed up with it now. So she's done carrying everybody else, and then Liv Morgan attacks Ripley as they are brawling and they get pulled apart. Alpha Academy then are backstage arguing with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins interrupts them. Gable then calls Owens a B+ student and says that, and he gets angry and tells them to leave. Rollins then says him and Owens need to prepare for their big 8-man tag match. The 8-man tag match, which is up next. And Owens is like, "Oh yeah, you know, here's the thing. I haven't forgotten about last week. Last week, I fought my heart out for you, Rollins, and you insulted me." Then they get interrupted by the Usos, who tell them that they need to stop arguing and get on the same page because they don't want to be on the bad side of the bloodline. We come back from commercial break, and Omos, and this is where Omos and MVP pretty much announce that they have their rematch against Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. Big whoop. Who fucking cares? The match is absolutely going to suck, just like their WrestleMania wasn't all that bad, but this shit fucking sucks. Get it off my TV. Bobby Lashley is not the number 1 babyface on Monday Night Raw. Whatever the fucking line sheet says for Monday Night Raw, and their top baby faces and heels on the company. It's not the right fucking. That's not right. That's not right. Bobby Lashley is not the number one babyface in all of WWE for Raw. Like, get the fuck out of here. We then had the 8-man tag match. Cody Rhodes, Ezekiel, and RK-Bro taking on Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and the Usos. This match was fun. This match was really good, and I even have to say that for what it was. This match was a very fun match, and I'm honestly glad that I stuck around to see this because this match was really fun. We return from the second commercial break of this matchup to see Riddle catch Rollins with a floating bro, and both men are down again. Jimmy then tags in and prevents Riddle from making a tag for his own team. Riddle then gets held down with a sleeper hold, but he starts to fight back, only to get caught with a clothesline. Jimmy then tags in Jay and then a double team, and they double team Riddle to keep him away from his teammates. Cody and Zeke then get knocked off the apron, but Riddle then knocks Jay out of the ring and hits Jimmy with a ripcord knee. Riddle then crawls to the corner and tags in Randy Orton, but Rollins pulls Randy off of the apron. Jay then hits Riddle with a hip attack in the corner. Then Owens tags in and hits a swanton for a very close near fall. Riddle fights up against Jay with forearms and chops, blocks a kick, but eats an enziguri and falls into the corner and tags in Randy Orton. Randy then does his hot tag as usual. He hits Jay with some lariats and a snap power slam, then catches Jimmy with a power slam as well. Orton then knocks Owens off the apron and wants a draping DDT to Jay, but Uso drags him. I believe this is Jimmy then. Jimmy then drags him out of the ring. Orton then hits Jay with the back suplex onto the announce desk, then does the same to Rollins and Kevin Owens. Orton then gets Jay back inside the ring and hits a draping DDT. Orton then wants an RKO, but Seth Rollins then attacks him. Cody then hits Rollins with a disaster kick. Then Randy hits an RKO. Owens then rushes in and tries to stun Randy, but then gets shoved off and Ezekiel hits him. Then Orton lands another RKO. Jimmy then comes in, but Riddle then throws him into the air and Orton hits an RKO. RKO City for Knoxville, Tennessee. Jay then climbs to the top rope and jumps out Orton, but he gets caught with an RKO as well. Like I said, RKO fucking City. And then we see Orton scoring a pinfall for his team on his anniversary. Nice visual, nice finish. RKO City in Knoxville County, Cody Rhodes, Ezekiel, and RK-Bro pick up the win in Knoxville, Tennessee on Orton's debut date and his 20-year anniversary. This is absolutely awesome. Orton, one of the greatest of all time, and I honestly could not be more proud that he has been here for 20 plus years. And he says he's not stopping anytime soon, so if he wants to do it for another 5 more years, I can honestly see him doing that because he looks fucking great for his age, and I would not mind him sticking around for a little bit longer. And that was it, guys. That was your Monday Night Raw review. Cody Rhodes, Ezekiel, and RK-Bro pick up the win. And that's it. That's it for your Monday Night Raw. You know, it was not that bad of a show tonight whatsoever. I think Monday Night Raw had a great... See, Monday Night Raw, when it comes to Monday Night Raw, you have to have something that's built around the show. Just like this. Randy Orton had his 20-year anniversary tonight. 20 years of being in WWE. Debuting in 2002, it's 2022, it's a 20-year anniversary. And it just so happened that 425 was his actual debut date back in the year 2002. So it all came full circle, legitimately 22 years to the fucking day that Randy Orton debuted in WWE. And if Monday Night Raw has something to build around, like this, like a 20-year anniversary, Monday Night Raw does not feel like that bad of a show because at least it's building towards something in the main event. We get stuff like this all the time, where we have the first segment of the show that leads to the main event, but at the end of the day, does it really mean anything? No. This meant something because it's Randy Orton's 20 years in the business. Well, not in the business, but in WWE. Monday Night Raw always is good. It's always great when they have something to build around. So, with that being said, Monday Night Raw tonight was good. It was a good show. Now, that could be completely different from next week's show, but we'll see what happens. I think Monday Night Raw tonight was good. I think we actually had something to go around here, but I do want to talk about Cody Rhodes for a second because Cody Rhodes, I believe, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, Cody Rhodes has been on Monday Night Raw every single week since his comeback since WrestleMania. That's overexposing to me, guys. We are 4 weeks out of WrestleMania, and I believe we've seen Cody Rhodes each and every single time. You're overexposing the guy. Cody Rhodes is a special attraction. Cody Rhodes should feel special. And if you're overexposing him, it's a very, very clear and decisive way to make an act stale. And I understand that Cody Rhodes is very over with the fans. I do. But if you're overexposing a guy like Cody, he is not going to feel that much. He's not going to feel that special, and he's not going to feel important. Cody Rhodes should feel important. Cody Rhodes should feel like a special attraction. And if you're going to do this whole storyline with him getting a world championship to pretty much honor his father and to pretty much honor the legacy of the Rhodes dynasty, you can't overexpose him. You can't overexpose him. So they need to not dumb it down, but they need to slow it down a bit on his appearances. You don't have to have him appear every single week on the show. Plus, we have no Monday Night Raw championship right now. We have no world championship. We have no world championship on Monday Night Raw. That is being held by SmackDown's Roman Reigns. That is being held on SmackDown. There's no world championship on Monday Night Raw. So until Roman gets his shit together, or until WWE really gets their shit together and have Roman be on Monday Night Raw, Cody does not need to be on Raw every single week, especially if he's not really looking towards anything. Cody needs wins, and I get that, and that's fine. He needs wins in order to go after Roman, and that's obviously logical. But with no world championship on Monday Night Raw, Cody does not need to be on Raw every single week. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. I did a post on TikTok about that as well. If you guys saw that, leave your comments over there on that video as well. You guys let me know. Is Cody Rhodes being overexposed? You guys let me know in the comments below, guys. But yeah, that's it for your Monday Night Raw tonight, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Outside the Brand. You know, once we get everybody back, once we get Loft back, once we get people back into the swing of things, we're gonna have a lot. Usually, I usually like having these being an hour long only, but you guys know I work better with somebody to bounce back ideas off of back and forth and everything like that. Once we get everything back in order, we are going to be back better than ever. I'm thinking of changing things up a little bit for the summer. If who I'm talking to is ready for that, and we might have a little bit of a new look towards the podcast or whatever, but it's nothing too drastic. It's nothing too major. I just kind of want to clean things up a little bit for the podcast, and hopefully we can get things going with that over the next couple of weeks, maybe over the next couple of months. But yeah, guys, we're going to try to really expand this brand and expand this podcast so that we can go get that 1,000 subscriber milestone that we really are achieving. We already have 400. We're on the road to 500 subscribers now, and I cannot wait for that. But it's absolutely awesome that you guys have stuck with us through all these 170 something episodes to now, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys just stick with us for as long as we do this, man. For as long as we do this. So thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Tomorrow on Tuesday's Talk, I'll be getting somebody, and we have a packed show for you guys. We got 5 stories to talk about on Outside the Brand for Tuesday's Talk, and it's going to be an absolutely loaded show. I cannot wait for that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're right here on Outside the Brand. Stay tuned for Tuesday's Talk. We're going to have a great show tomorrow, and I cannot wait to share all those stories with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time. So stay tuned to tomorrow's show. Follow me on social media at PhillyMatt_. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Follow all of us on TikTok. All the TikTok links are down in the description below. Like, subscribe, share, all that great stuff. And bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Go get your t-shirts and much more on bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. We love you guys. Road to 500 subscribers is now underway. And we will talk to you guys tomorrow for Tuesday's Talk on Outside the Brand. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Have a good night, guys. Peace. We the ones.